I'm sitting here today with César Siado, senior engineer at Klarna, since recently a father, and my best Colombian friend. Bienvenido, amigo.
Gracias, Yoshi.
How are you doing?
All good, man. I just feel great to be here, man, and to have this excuse just to meet each other and talk. It's a great excuse.
It's the recently became a father part that's speaking now, huh?
Most of it, yes.
yeah. And I don't really know what a senior engineer does. What is that? What do you do, really?
Well, the point is that I'm senior engineer, but for the finance area.
Okay.
So it's not like coding and not necessary, but more like helping the the accountable team with all the technical stuff.
Okay.
And with the reporting and with from the technical point of view, just make the data available to them when they really need it and the way they need it.
Got it. Is this like something you studied? Is this what you wanted to do, or did you just end up on this path?
That's a very good question. Well, I had a degree in mechatronical engineering.
Okay, that does not sound like
no. That is, we can say the mix between like robotics, electronic, system engineering, mechanics, and like just the automation of systems and things like that. But at that time, quite a while, there was not that much job in Colombia for that, but it was the boom of development.
Right.
So I did a specific course. After studying 6 years, I did a course of 2 months and I found a job because of that 2 months specific course in SAP.
Oh, okay.
Development.
Yeah, that's interesting. When it comes to like specific software, like you just go one course and you can get a job, because if it's that specific software you need to learn, then, and especially if you're a quick learner, then you get the education at the job as well.
Yeah.
So SAP, that's your gig.
Yes, exactly.
Cool.
Exactly.
Did you want to build robots? Was that the idea from the beginning?
Yes. It was when I was 16, 17. So I looked at, my idea was actually to work in the movie industry.
Oh, really?
I really movie freak and a TV freak. Really was into it. But I was like, no, I cannot study that there, In Colombia, like in many other countries, it's like you try to, if you have the chance, you try to study something that you know it's going to be in the market, not necessarily what you love and what you like.
Yeah, something more safe.
Yes, exactly.
You wanted to build robots for movie sets, like for like ET and stuff like that. Yeah,
just technology, but applied to the movie industry.
Where did that come from? Like, do you remember when that idea spawned?
Yes, that when I knew for sure in a very early age that I cannot live from sports.
Oh, okay.
Because I really, I would say that my dream job would be really to work in things related to sports, like sports management. I think I would love to, or even I don't know, like just coaching. I really like that at that point in time. But then I would say there's a little bit of social pressure, family pressure, cultural pressure. I had the chance to choose whatever I wanted to study, but then I said, okay, let's do something more.
Yeah.
More like, but thanks to that, I could travel as well because it was so specific that it was easy for me to come to Europe and to move from Colombia to Spain and to Spain from Sweden. So I'm so grateful for that, because for me, it's quite easy to find a job.
Now you're talking about the SAP stuff, not the robotics.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying that it's not as bad as it sounds, that I didn't follow my dream or whatever. No. I just followed a path, and I'm grateful for that as well, because that opened a lot of doors, and traveling, that's also something that I love. And So I'm happy for that. But at the same time, I'm a freak of sports and movies and theater and all that kind of stuff.
Was it basketball? I know you played basketball, but was it basketball or other sports? What was the dream from the beginning there?
Basketball. But, when you are in early age in high school, no one is tall, so it doesn't matter.
Right. So is basketball big in Colombia or?
Nah, it's not.
Where'd that come from for you then? How come you fell in love with basketball?
I would say when I was like 11 or 12, I started playing in Costa Rica, not even in Colombia.
Oh, okay.
And I had the speed, I have the IQ.
Mm-hmm.
I never was like a good scorer, but I was a very good playmaker.
Yeah.
So that opened me, and then I fall in love with the sport.
It's a great sport.
It's a great sport.
It's easy to fall in love with.
Yeah.
Let's start at the beginning. So where in Colombia are you from? Like where were you born and raised?
I'm from the capital city, Bogotá.
Mm-hmm.
Born and raised. Yeah, definitely. But I moved like I was 10 or 11 to Costa Rica.
Mm-hmm.
And then we spent there like 5 years, and I came back and finished high school in Colombia.
Okay.
And then that was 10 years later, I moved to Europe when I was 25, I think. If I remember, yeah.
How was Colombia back in those days? You're born somewhere 85?
80.
80.
80.
You look younger.
I know.
All right. So you were born in 80 and grew up in Bogota. The entire 80s then.
Yeah.
This was a pretty messy period in Colombia's history, wasn't it?
Yes, it is. But as a kid,
yeah,
I guess unless you experience something, like very traumatic,
yeah,
you normalize things. It's like when you grow in the middle of whatever, then it's the normal thing for you. So I don't remember to like really thinking actively about it or hearing my parents about or talking about the situation or not. It's just that the rules, that you cannot be in the streets to a certain period of times, and it's normal. That was our normality.
Yeah.
In the 90s though, then it was different because then you start really, really thinking and like analyzing, okay, what's going on here? What is this? Watching news. You're starting to, to process all this stuff, and it was totally different. And the 90s was really, really the tough period, I would say, in Colombia, because it was a mix not only of narco traffic stuff, but also the guerrillas and the paramilitarism. So it was a combination, the boom of the corruption that it had happened forever. But then in the 90s, it's like, okay, it was more in the public eye, so to speak.
Yeah. It wasn't hidden.
Yeah, exactly. So then it's when it's like, but I always had my own world, and that was precisely basketball. It was high school, basketball, my group of friends. The rest is just
noise.
Happening around noise.
That's good. So you never experienced anything like any violence or saw anything like that?
Not directly.
No.
But I guess it's not a problem if I say that, but when I was a kid, my father is a doctor, and I don't know how it's here, but the last year when you study, you have to go to a rural area and spend a year there. And it's not that you can choose. I mean, you can put your preferences, and then the state just assign you to different states. And my father was assigned to one zone that was in conflict.
Yeah.
So, and we were there with him as well, living there. But I was, I don't know, 8 maybe, when there, 7, 6, I don't remember. Yeah. And then when I was a teenager, I started hearing, the guerrillas took me, put me just hush. And I'm a doctor. I cannot, distinguish if someone is hurt. I just help, but I cannot say anything. So he was involved in that somehow.
So he was helping people who were being hurt. Is that what you're saying? Or
yes, but not on a free will. I mean,
of course. Like people came in. With
saying, hey, doctor, we need
gun wounds or whatever, and he would.
Yeah. And also like family, friends. They were affected. And my grandfather was kidnapped
Oh, shit.
Twice.
Twice?
Yes.
And released?
He escaped.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
All right, we need to hear the story. What happened?
I would say it from the point of view that I remember it as it was told.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it is exactly what happened because I was a kid.
Yeah,
That's
of course.
how I remember. My parents told me that it happened.
Yeah.
My grandfather, he never went to school, but he was very, very good for businesses. So he started like buying an animal. He was a farmer, kind of. So he had lands and farmers. So he became kind of a good money. Yeah, lands. So in the area, he was quite famous. Then he was just kidnapped and I don't remember if it was guerrillas or it was just like random, I don't remember that part.
How old were you when this happened?
Less than 10 because I don't really recall or like.
Damn, that must have been pretty horrible, traumatic though.
No, because we were living in the city at that point, so it's not that we were really close to my father's side of the family.
Yeah,
we were not that really close. So it's a huge family.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like it was traumatic in a way because I see my father was struggling, but they didn't. Of course, we were kids, so we were not.
They were protecting you guys.
Yeah. Exactly.
I get that.
Exactly. So yeah, I started to think about it just. I don't know, 10 years later, when you hear the story, so that we don't speak about it even now. It's just something that happened. It's like, we don't talk about it or it's not necessary to talk. So.
Damn, man, that's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, I understand. I mean, it's, we escaped from a war, my family, and pretty much the same thing there. Like for us kids, even the refugee years when we just fled the war, we just have fun, memories of playing with the other kids in the area. Like as a kid, like you said, everything's just normal. You don't even, unless something traumatic happens to you. But I guess that was like the reality in Colombia. Like people got kidnapped.
Yeah.
It was not something completely out of the ordinary.
Absolutely.
But he escaped, you said.
Yeah. Escape.
How? Do you know that?
I don't remember, but it looks like the kidnappers were quite clumsy. They probably they were not professionals. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he was, and he's very stubborn. So he is not. I remember my grandfather's being really, really stubborn and like saying, "No, I don't give a fuck. I won't give them money or whatever." Yeah. And then we were not trusting the police. So I know that. My uncles and parents, they hid the money in the tires to pay the ransom. But when they went to the ransom, then figured out that my grandparent appears somewhere else. And then, it was kind of messy, but he just
came back.
Yeah. He just came back. Something like that. Yeah.
And then got kidnapped again.
Yes. I don't remember that part, but I know it was 2 times. But that's the only one that I remember. I don't remember the other one.
But he came back the second time as well, or?
Yeah, I don't remember what happened, being honest.
Well, but you would remember if he never came back.
Yeah.
You would have remembered that part, right? So I'm guessing he came back, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Good. Man, that's crazy. That's such a weird thing to like. I mean, if someone here would say my grandpa got kidnapped, like that would be such an enormous thing, and like every detail of it would be like huge and traumatic. But that you even like speak of it in this way, where it's like, I don't really remember. He came back, he escaped. That says something about like the atmosphere, I guess.
Yes. Being honest, I haven't talked about this in decades. This is the first time in decades.
You've never talked to like is it your grandfather on your mom's or dad's side?
That side.
You never talked to your dad about it, like
no.
What happened to grandpa?
No. And that's another story. Yeah, because my family is like we love each other, but we don't share feelings. We don't say I love you, choke with each other, things like that. We don't do that. So we are very pragmatic, and we that things happens. We don't talk about it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. I'm glad he came back twice.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you didn't experience any crazy violence or kidnappings and shit. What you were in Costa Rica, you said that at like age 11, 12, something like that?
Yeah, exactly.
For 5 years, right?
Yeah, 4 or 5
How
years.
come you guys moved over there?
Well, my dad, he did his doctor's specialization, I think it's called, there in Costa Rica. So he was a general doctor, and then he specialized in gastroenterology and endoscopy or something like that. Okay. So he did that specialization in Costa Rica. So all the family moved together with him while he was doing that. Yeah.
How was that? How's Costa Rica?
I love it.
Yeah.
I loved it. You know, when you're a kid, you focus only on the present, right? So for me, it was traumatic at the beginning because I don't want to move. I have my friends here.
Yeah.
I'm just starting to be a pre-adolescent. I don't want to move.
Yeah.
I hate it. Then, we move. And then it was great. Of course, man, you made new friends again.
Yeah.
It's all over again, but it's a great country. It's a great country.
Yeah.
People is amazing. It's super open. Kind of naive, I would say.
Oh, yeah? How come?
Well, I don't know. They are at that point in time, Costa Rica. You know, they don't have army, right? I think it's one of the few 2-3 countries that don't have an army at all. They have police, of course, but they don't have an army.
Interesting.
So at that point in time, I remember people just let the door open when at night or something. It was not really
a lot of crime.
No, not at the point. Then it get worse.
Changed,
but but so people was really relaxed, like very. It felt like being in a huge town.
Nice.
With kind of town people, not really.
A community.
Yeah. And I really like it. And I really like it. I didn't want to come back to Colombia. Of course.
Same story, the other direction.
Story again.
What did I want to say? How did you discover basketball in Costa Rica? Was it like through your school or?
It was the first year. High school works there. Like primary school goes to sixth grade, I think. And then from 7th grade, you start high school.
Yeah.
So I went to a school that was not that bad at basketball. And I had to choose a sport. So I just we had the regular sports class and then you have to choose a sport.
Yeah.
So I chose basketball. And then its results, I was not that bad, but I didn't really knew before that, that I could play it, but I was fast. I could dribble. And then I started making friends just around it and a lot of American influence, of course.
I was going to say that Costa Rica and America are like fairly close culturally, but different languages and I guess not that close culturally, but they consume a lot of American culture, if you put it that way. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the point. That's it.
American basketball and other sports.
Of course, American sports through TV. Yeah, that's huge. Same time zone, kind of, so it's easy to follow.
Because Colombia has its own football. Yeah. Or do you guys say football or soccer when I guess you say it in Spanish, but...
Okay, I will tell you this. So each time you talk with someone from Latin America, don't ask the same question because
it's football. Yeah. Okay, good. Andy is going to be happy too now. Colombia has football, so I'm guessing that, everyone focuses on that over there.
Yes.
Not so they don't have to like import American sports because they have their own huge league.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. But I wouldn't say that it's a national sport. I think the national sport is cycling.
Cycling?
Yes.
Really?
We are good at it. Huh. Yeah, we have champions. People who won the Tour de France and
interesting
from Latin America. Yes, and probably Latin America, we are the best.
Huh, never heard that.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know anything about cycling. All I know about cycling is everyone dopes. Everyone does like drugs.
Yeah. Or it was that way in the 90s and early 20s.
Definitely. I mean, Lance...
Maybe still today, but some other,
Probably.
I don't know.
Like Lance Armstrong, he was drugged up and from what I understand, like everyone was. So if you want to win Tour de France and all that, like you have to. Because everyone's drugged up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. True. It's a little bit crazy. But of course, it's a super tough sport, right?
Yeah, it's incredibly intense as hell.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. but yeah, I definitely would say it especially because I mean, a lot of people move by bike. It's like, even in Bogotá, it's people that they wake up at 2 a.m., just take their bike, cross the city, 3-4 hours just to go to work.
Yeah. Because driving around Bogotá is a mess, like traffic and all that.
That's one thing. The other thing, we don't have good public transportation. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is that not everybody can afford a car.
Yeah. So, no, bikes are great.
Yeah.
Is the Spanish spoken in Colombia and the Spanish spoken in Costa Rica the same, or?
Pretty much the same. Yeah. Pretty much the same. Just a few different words maybe that means the same, but in another way. But it's pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same.
I remember watching the TV show Narcos when it came, and obviously Pablo Escobar is Colombian, and my girlfriend at the time was Mexican. So, you know, I'm not a Spanish speaker, so I watch Narcos and everything makes sense. She was so annoyed with the main actor because he
was Portuguese. I mean, he was from Brazil.
Yeah, exactly. He's from Brazil, so she could hear that his Spanish sucks. It definitely doesn't sound Colombian.
Yeah, definitely doesn't. He did a great job, I have to say, for being. But
absolutely, I mean, for someone who doesn't speak Spanish, it was great. But did it annoy you that he sounds Brazilian when he speaks Spanish?
No, it didn't annoy me because the good thing is that before that series, there was the original Pablo Escobar series,
right,
made in Colombia, and that is for us this is just Hollywood.
This is the American.
Right? This is American, but we had our own version.
I've heard it's good too.
It's very good.
I haven't seen it, but it's got like hundreds of episodes. Yeah, I was going to start watching it one day, and I'm like, this is a commitment.
But it's just 20 minutes per episode. It's just this kind of show. It's just half an hour, with.
Would you say it's better than the Hollywood version?
I would say it's better, and it's even though it has some kind of fun touch. It's funny. It has some parts. It recreates and it brings images from real stuff as well. Yeah. At the beginning of the episode and at the end, they show like there was a bomb, and they showed real images of the bomb.
Right.
So they try to also like saying, okay, this is based in real things, so we will show the real thing as well.
That's cool.
So it was, I think it's a lot better than
and that one is all like a Colombian cast and writers and
completely.
All that. Yeah, that makes much more sense. It's kind of weird when someone comes from abroad to tell a story of, that. I mean, I guess that's part of creativity, but it's kind of weird. I mean, they got to have people involved who live there, who speak the slang and all that. You can't just bring in a Brazilian dude to be the main character. What are they thinking? It's such a weird move to do. Like, yeah,
that's true. But I think it happens now more often than we think.
Probably, yeah. Especially when it's marketed to other countries where people are not native Spanish speakers. Like, who gives a shit? They're not gonna know anyway. I didn't know. If I wasn't dating a Mexican girl, I would have never discovered that he was not Colombian.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even in Spain, they don't differentiate the accents, which is normal. I mean, they don't have to. I mean, Latin America is huge, so we differentiate the accents pretty easily. But I can understand that it's not even for Spain, for people in Spain. Mm-hmm. Well, people in Spain, they were even asking me, okay, where is Colombia?
Yeah.
Even that. It's a bit crazy now, but I mean, it's
like that. You're always going to have people who have never seen a map or just don't care. Is there any Spanish that's so different from the Spanish you speak that it's barely understandable? Like, which is the furthest away? Which accent, which country is the furthest away from your Spanish?
Let me think. From Latin America, I would say. Sometimes it's hard for me to understand people from Chile. Yeah, because they speak super fast. And, and they, it's quite fast. And especially when they are from the suburbs. I traveled to Chile and I really had to pay attention. Mm-hmm. I would compare it like maybe Danish kind of a style, like you understand, but it's like, I would say that. I think
I don't know. I probably heard Chilean. I just don't remember.
Well, is the the Latin American, I mean, here in Sweden, from Latin America is the biggest community.
The Chilean,
Yes.
yeah. A lot of them came in the 90s when
the Pinochet, after Pinochet.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, so Colombia, Costa Rica, 5 years. Then you went back to Colombia to study?
To finish high school, my last 2 years of high school. And that was, probably that was the best time in my life because...
Oh, yeah?
Yes, definitely. Because, I didn't want to go back to Colombia, right? And I love basketball. So, of course, my father, for the first time, he never could afford to buy me good sneakers, but really good ones. Like, we're talking about the Air Jordan, category. I know they couldn't. It was too expensive for us. And at the time, my father was a student, so so he said, "Okay, let's go choose whatever you want." Then I choose the best. I remember it was Nike, the Nike that Penny Hardaway were using, I think, at that point. Well, I don't remember, but whatever. I took them. Then I was studying in a school which was a mixed school, boys and girls. I was in my adolescence.
Is this not like normal? Not every school is mixed?
No, not every school. Not every school. And I think nowadays it's mixed. But at that time was a lot of masculine or feminine schools.
Okay, got it.
And then my father said, "Okay, you're gonna go to this high school, and it's just men." I was, "No, come on." I'm 15, 16, hormones, everything. And I'm going to go to male. No way. I don't want to go there. The best 2 years of my life were in that high school. In the boys' school.
Okay. How come?
One was basketball, because the team was great. We were very good at city level, state level, even national level.
Nice.
That was amazing. And we were the kind of team that we were all small, but we know how to play, and we were very, very annoying and intense. That kind of team.
Yeah. You had heart.
Yeah. Which the other team were saying like, "Oh no, we have to run. With these guys, we have to run. Like we really have to run." So that was because no one was expecting that from this school. And we did it for 2-3 years in a row, like really, really competed.
That's cool.
And it was super cool.
Is it like the American system where it's schools competing against schools?
Yeah.
It's not like here where it's, clubs.
No, it's schools. It's the schools. Yeah. Being in a part of a club is not common because also, especially in Bogotá, the city is so big that you try to keep it all, close. So if you go to school and then you train in the same school and then you use the same infrastructures and everything because the moving is quite annoying. That's one thing. And the system is that way, like, is schools. And then you play against the schools that are like close to you or that are part of the same, like, group district. District and things like that. And then you compete for the city, the same. And then you go to nationals if there is some specific competition. And there are two calendars, calendar A, which is the Latin American, but there's also calendar B, which is more the American one.
Wait, what?
Okay.
There's two calendars?
Two calendars, yes. One that's Latin American way. So we had, for example, long vacations in December. But the American one, they have long vacations
But it's the same calendar, like January, February. It's not like a different. Okay, got it.
Sorry. When I say calendar, I mean like
schedule.
Schedule. Yes, exactly. I got it. Sorry for that.
Thought you guys went like Chinese or in the Muslim year. No. Like, well, what's going on? I missed this Latin American calendar.
I lost in translation because that's the word in Spanish, so I just translated directly to English.
Got it. Okay. So you went in two different like schedules.
Exactly.
For the games.
Exactly. But no, we didn't compete with them because they were competing just with the ones that have the same schedule. Like
got it.
So kind of that.
Okay. So
that was one thing from the high school that I love and
nice.
And it was cool just coming for the first day to the school with my brand new basketball shoes and some people like looking at me saying like, "Oh man, this guy should play." And especially my best friend now, we were competition. We were also base. So we were, so he told me the first time I saw you guy, I hate you.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because I knew, this guy plays basketball and I have to compete with this guy. He knew it. I said, I hate him already.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's funny. And those 2 years were all around basketball, which I love. We travel a lot. And that's one thing. But the other thing was also the high school itself.
Okay.
It was amazing. It was a Catholic school, but the approach was very, of course, religious. But I would say that they were really, really, really focusing in like, really like, okay, let's educate these kids.
Right.
Really. And I really like it. So it was more deep, even though, I mean, at least these, fathers, they were really, really not like forcing you to believe and all that kind of stuff, but really telling you or teaching your religion more from also the, how do you say it? Like from the perspective of why we are religions. It's not because, it's not because we are forced and whatever.
Right.
And we want to teach you that, or for the philosophical point of view as well.
That's
like,
interesting.
It was very interesting. So I was really, really paying attention, like really saying, wow, this is amazing. And I really like that from other school. So I really feel like part of it.
Cool. Were you raised Catholic?
Yes. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So this was not a new experience, like you were familiar with?
No. I was familiar with, but from the other way, like more my grandfather from my mom's side, he tried to convince me when I was a kid that my destiny was to be a priest.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's my destiny. You were born to be a priest. It's crazy. Now that I look back in time, I said, oh, well, it's good that I didn't pay attention to him. I was, but yeah, that kind of.
Hey, it's never too late.
No, I know it's never too late, but I'm still procrastinating that. So.
One day. Would you?
By the way, the same grandfather that tried to convince Rebecca, my girlfriend, to baptize her.
Oh, right.
He's always trying to convince her to baptize her. Each time he talks with her, he's like, "Are you ready?
Time for baptism.
You will feel great afterwards. Believe me."
You will feel great afterwards. It's like going to a spa.
Yes.
That's hilarious. Has she resisted the baptism?
Of course. At the beginning, she was looking at me like saying, "Are you not going to say something? Hold me here." And I was like,
you're on your own. That is a weird situation to be in, because you don't want to like offend anyone, especially like first time you meet relatives. They're like, we want to baptize you. Like, what do you say? Like, I don't. But if I know Rebecca well, she stood her ground on that one.
Yeah. No, definitely. It's still my grandfather. He's telling me, okay, what about your children? Are you gonna say it? And, being honest with him, I said, no, it's not the way it is here. And we are not gonna force anything. It's. You
don't think it's worth to like hedge your bets?
What do you mean by that?
Like, just in case they're right. Just splash some water on the kid. You never know.
It doesn't hurt.
It's just water. Although I've been to a baptism that I did not like it. Like the priest was very heavy-handed and like held the kid by its head and like pretty roughly, and the kid was crying and he just held on to the kid and was splashing and the kid was crying and crying. I'm like, damn, man, this is so uncomfortable. Like so many people here dressed all nice for a baptism and shit, and the kid is like super sad and upset. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
You gotta be a little more gentle.
Yeah.
But priests are people too. Some of them suck.
But that's true. But my thinking now is like, thinking back in the days is like we were just following because.
Yeah, tradition.
That's it. Purely, purely tradition. And then people is, the before committing a crime, you pray for the crime just to succeed. So that's kind of.
Yeah, like the biggest like criminals are like super religious. especially in Latin America. Like they build these enormous chapels for like the dead cartel members and shit. Like the biggest crosses and everything. Like, what's going on here? Because I guess because they have so much guilt, like they want to hedge their bets. Like, look at me, I'm spending so much money on the cross.
Yeah.
Probably, I guess.
Probably, I guess.
I've never been a rich criminal, so I don't know. Would you still consider yourself Catholic, or?
That's a very good question, because it's like, I don't want to go against my family traditions, you know, because I found them also novel somehow. Like, okay, they believe, and they really strongly believe. Not all of them. I mean, my grandparents especially, you know, because I also lived with them for some time when I was a kid. So I really love them. So I don't want to like go against their belief in that way. And at the same time, I believe in something. I really think something. There should be something else. You know, I'm a believer, but I don't know what it is. But I don't know if it is Allah, Buddha, or whatever. The point is to believe. And I think that it's actually a good thing to believe and to have faith, especially that, just to have faith in something. I think that's good. When you focus it the right way, I think it's great.
I agree. I've been thinking about that religion. A lot. I've been thinking about that a lot lately. Like, I'm not religious at all. Like I was raised very, I guess, atheist, in a very atheist manner. And I guess I would call myself agnostic now, because I also would like there to be more, but I don't really believe in any specific thing. But I've been thinking about it lately a lot, because it just feels like we're so wired to believe something. Like human beings, we've always had religions or something that's bigger than ourselves, obviously. And when there's no like established belief in society, people find other beliefs, and some of them are great, some of them are not so great. And I'm starting to like see the value of having, as a society, having a common thing to believe in. I think maybe because so much that we have believed in, even non-religious. I mean, obviously, religion has lost its, I guess, its popularity in the Western world, but also like ideology has lost its popularity. Like whatever you thought of, you know, communism or social democracy or whatever, there have been strong ideologies that people believe in and fight for. And even like, you know, the horrible ones like fascism and Nazism, there were people believed that you should follow an ideology, and liberalism and capitalism and all of these. But now everything is kind of money, you know? Now there's no like system to believe in. It's just like get rich, take care of yourself, maybe like your family and people around you, and fuck everyone else. And I think that's dangerous. I think that's dangerous.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely right. I think similar. I think something similar. Yeah, it's true. But I'm optimistic in saying that right now there are so much information, right? That if you just take the time, and you want to believe in something, just try to believe in yourself, right? And be the best version of yourself. Yeah. And if that is being part of church, great. If that makes you be better with others and with yourself, just go for it. Yeah. If it is just believe in science but working in doing the best with that for others, but go for it. Yeah. So I think it's more about how we can achieve our full potential and to be the best we can. That's the thing that I think we should believe. I mean, something like that. I don't know. I'm just thinking loud here. Yeah. And because the rest is just, groups that you are part of or whatever.
I agree with that. And I think that works for people who are steady in themselves, like steady individuals. And to be that, like you have to have been pretty lucky. Like probably you have had to have had a pretty decent childhood, like have both of your parents and all that kind of stuff, and not have like serious issues in your childhood. But that's not true for everyone. So a lot of people search for community, search for something to belong to, because as an individual, they're not completely stable, or I'm also thinking out loud here. Maybe this doesn't make any sense at all, but I think for a lot of people who can't just be like, I'm comfortable being myself, I'm just going to be the best version of myself that I can be, there needs to be more. There needs to be community. There needs to be support systems. And I feel like all of that has been hollowed out in various ways.
Good point. Good point. Yeah. No, that's a very good point. But I also believe that, I mean, and that's not bad at all. I mean, if that's what I'm trying to say, that whatever makes you a good person, and if it is joining a church, a community, do it. If it is being by yourself, do it. I don't want to believe that there's anything like a specific or a path that is
a right way.
The right way. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Fair enough. There can be a plurality of ways to build community. I love sports. Like we've talked about it, basketball, like how much that meant to me growing up, being part of a team, being part of a common cause. We want to win games. We want to be the best team we can be, and you compete and you form these bonds. Like that to me is the ultimate community, sports.
Yeah.
It would just be cool if we as a society would make that even more established, I guess. I don't know. I come from a former communist country, like sports was big, and it was like very promoted because of, its utility to the community. And there's something to that. Like I would love to see more of that without the communist part. Sweden does it really well. Like Sweden has sports for every you can do, pretty much any sport on any level at any age. There's a league, there's referees, there's like, it's professional. It's not professional in the paid sense, but it's like proper. And I think that's great. But I don't know. I feel like it can be elevated even more.
Yeah, well, it's just that I don't know if the way that is that works here is more about the well-being in general. Is good to the community, whatever.
Yeah, but
it's not about competition, or not the same way that it's in America, or like it really.
Yeah.
So I don't know what is better.
It's hard to say.
It's hard to say, but at the end, I would say it's better the well-being part, because then at the end, it's not that you can be a professional or something like that, or compete or whatever. No, it's about teamwork. It's about values. It's about that. So I agree in that part, but maybe it's also related to how we struggle to be part of that. In Colombia, you just struggle a bit. It's not necessary that it's easier to be involved in a sport, because in my case, for example, my parents never went to a game. They couldn't. They were working or whatever. They went just to one game.
Right.
Almost at the last. There was on TV and everything, because they say, okay, this seems to be important. But they really didn't know if I was good or not. They just thought it's part of the school.
Yeah.
And they're traveling, and having fun. So it's really tricky. It's really tricky because you cannot take it to a level which is I'm getting lost here. But the point is that at the end, sports for me is about team sports, especially. I really like team sports. I'm not from individual sports. I'm not a guy that plays in sports. I prefer team sports. It's about community. I think part of my values in high school or as a teenager came from there.
Of course.
That's for sure. Not even from high school, whatever. It was for that part of my life.
Yeah. So you mentioned you guys played in national championship, or?
Yeah, we played national championships. Yeah. In high school.
It was on TV.
No, not this national championships, but it was a particular tournament from a very rich company. that they tried to promote basketball. So they made a competition that was for the city. And then we went to the finals and they put it on national television.
And you were like 17, 18?
16, I think at that point. Yeah.
How cool was that?
That was very cool. That was very cool, but I didn't realize till afterwards because we were really focused in the tournament. That's how our coach at that time that was super good.
It was only competitive.
Yeah. He knew how to put you in like, okay, we're here. Don't think about the rest. We're here and we need to win.
Go ahead.
I was the best scorer of that tournament and I didn't know till the end.
Really? That's
because
cool.
he didn't let us see the statistics or anything. So we didn't know. I didn't know.
As in your coach.
Yes, my coach. And I didn't know because he knew that if he would tell me, I would mess it up.
Yeah, for sure. I was going to ask, like, did you, I mean, as a 16-year-old boy, were you like, girls are going to see me on TV?
No, not at all.
No, you were completely zoned in.
Yeah.
Damn. That's impressive. Completely. That's impressive.
Not at all.
Maybe that's one of the benefits of going to an all-boys school. Otherwise, if you were like go back to the school with all the girls after that, you'd be like, look at me, I was on TV.
Nah, I don't know. No? I don't remember it that way. I just remember it was all about the sport.
Yeah.
At that point, and also I was shy, so I was really like doing the things that I thought it was good, but the rest I didn't care.
Yeah, get it.
So yeah.
So what happened after high school? Did you continue playing or?
That was very tough because at some point I thought maybe I could go an extra level, but then is when the kids that really grow, and the ones that don't. Like me, didn't. So it was completely tough. So I went to some kind of, this for the national team, and then they start recruiting people from schools, whatever, the same. And then they invite like 50, like a pre-selection. And I was part of that pre-selection. So I was really excited I could do it. But then when I was there, I was like, oh my God, what I'm doing here.
Everyone was so tall.
What am I doing? So tall. Even point guards.
Yeah.
I mean, I was at that point 170. Yes. I mean, that's for sure. I don't know, 172, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
They were point guards just being 185. That's a huge difference for point guard.
For sure. You're supposed to guard them.
It's possible.
Yeah. Impossible. No, it's so funny because exactly the same thing happened to me. Like I was pretty good at that age, and I went to the tryouts for they call it like the regional team. It's not like, it's the level under the national team, I guess, for youth. And I go to the tryouts, and the first practice, like the first tryout practice, they put us in a line by length. Like they just line us up by length, and I was way at the end. Like I was the shortest person at the tryouts. And it's the same thing. Like, how am I supposed to guard someone who's, foot taller than me? Okay, but so you when you went to college, you didn't keep playing there on any level?
No. And at that point, it was really a sad thing because I said either I do it good or I prefer not to do it at all. So I stopped playing. I just stopped playing.
That's a bummer, though.
It's a bummer. I know. But
there was no option of like, just a recreational league or whatever.
No, not at the university level.
Fair enough.
No. I had to focus on studying, and then I found the drinking and the partying.
Yeah.
So it was a different story. It was a different story.
Usually happens too.
And also because my way of being is like, if I find something difficult that I was good at it, but I'm not that, I don't know if I would make the effort to really go to that level. So I prefer just watch it on TV and follow it in and be part of a fantasy league, even if I suck at it. But no, I just left it.
I get it. How was your college experience?
It was good. It was interesting, but again, my decision was not based on, but I didn't realize it at that point. I mean, I think when you are 16, 17, you are too young to really know what you want. You're supposed to choose what you're going to study that will become your job for your entire life.
Yeah.
It's like crazy. And
it is.
And so when I look back, I said, yeah, well, I chose. No one forced me. I liked it. I was not, I was good at it. But at the end, I didn't work at it. I would say that it helped me to build some kind of a scientific way of work or studying. Great. But all the other nights that I spent like really trying to make a robot or something, they were to the trash because I didn't do that. Anything of that.
Yeah.
But it was fun though.
I'm sure like building robots and thinking of how to construct them gives you like an understanding of how to solve other types of problems as well, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And in like, I don't know how much programming there is in SAP, but I'm sure there's some coding involved. So I'm sure that helps.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Build robots and like circuit systems and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's connected. Yeah, absolutely. But I came, my first experience in Europe was in Germany. And then when I was just talking with the students, whatever. And then one of those guys said, what do you do? I said, I studied sports management. He said, what? That exists? That's why I thought that exists. And I was already 25 years old. So I couldn't go back.
That's hilarious.
So, it says, oh my God. Yeah. And it's tough. And it's gonna, I say, okay, interesting. Too late. Okay. I was born in the wrong place. Okay. No, but the university was great in those terms, just to a different way of solving problems and to a different way of learning and a different way to approach also professors and exams and things like that. And that's also part of what helps you to build your way of working, your way of, acting in the laboral world. So it was good. But at the same time, in Colombia, it happens a lot. Like you need to start working as soon as you can. So it's like boom, 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 boom. So high school, then if you have the chance, university, make it quick. Don't stop. Start working when you are 22, 23 and start making money. Yeah. That's the way to go. And I was really surprised when I came to Europe because actually I had finished already my university. And in order to get an internship here, I had to go back to the university to do a master's degree so I could get a visa and an internship in Europe just to get the visa. Okay. So I had to go back to the university. Okay. And do some kind of master's degree just to be able to travel to Europe because at that point in time, visas are they're quite difficult for Colombians to travel. Right. So that was my only way to get a visa at that moment in time. So all that I did, I went back to university, get a student like, status and then apply for a student's visa. Okay. And that's the way I came to Europe in the first place. How come you wanted to go to Europe? At the university, I was part of some kind of ONG that their goal. Yeah, sorry, NGO. Right. Again, lost in translation. An NGO which focus was the students' interchange from all around the world. It's one of the most famous ones in the world. I don't know if it exists. It's still ISEC is called. Yeah, ISEC. Yeah. So I was part of that group and started like helping students from abroad that came to Colombia with the paperwork, or if they need to stay in Bogotá for a couple of days, then I offer my place. So I started to know people from all over the world. And I fell in love with a German girl that came. It's usually how it goes. So I said, okay, I need to find a way to go to Germany. Of course. And I found a way. That is such a strong motivator. Yeah. Like falling in love with someone. Like you can move mountains. I need to get my master's degree so I can get a student visa so I can go to Germany. It's like that. Okay, so did you manage to get to Germany? Exactly. For an internship. Yeah. How long was that? A year. Okay, where in Germany? Hannover. Hannover. Hannover is a city 1 hour south of Hamburg. So it's in north of Germany, north center of Germany, which is a city that is not quite exciting. That's why I know you say Hannover. Where's that?
Hannover,
yeah. But then it was amazing. I really like it. It opened my mind completely.
Yeah.
In so many ways. And I wanted to stay, but my German was not enough. I couldn't learn it enough. I'm not good at languages anyway, so it was hard. But then trying to find a job in Germany, one of the big consulting companies say, well, you have the profile, you have the skills, you have the certifications and the experience. You should try Spain. Just speak the same language, right? So we will contact you with our branch in Spain.
Oh,
and let's see what happens. And say, okay.
Oh, why not?
Then why not? And
what about the girl?
It didn't work out. Almost from the very beginning.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it was a summer love thing for her.
Yeah.
But I never said.
Yeah.
I mean, I never said. When you are, like, you always realize it afterwards. Like, oh my God.
Yeah. We were not even a good fit. Like, what happened?
Yeah.
No, it's crazy, man. I didn't for a very long time, I completely stopped believing in the idea of falling in love. Because when I was somewhere around 21, 22, I fell in love with someone so hard that this was going to be the mother of my kids. I was like, this is the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. I was so in love, so madly in love. And I tried to make something happen for such a long time with her. And it just never worked out. And we were not a good fit at all. And when it finally dawned upon me, because she treated me like shit, when I finally realized oh man, we were not a good match. I started looking back at the previous months and I was like, we were not a good match in any way at all. And I like to analyze myself a lot. So when that happened, I'm like, how could I fall in love with someone that is so obviously not for me? What is this? What is this feeling? If it can be that wrong and that strong, why should I ever trust this feeling? And for a good 7 or 8 years after that, I just completely ignored that aspect of life. Falling in love, what's that? That can be bullshit, so I'm not going to care about that. Until I met my now fiance, when I met her, I couldn't keep that back, the falling in love bit. I had girlfriends in between there as well, and I was like, I'm going to get to know them and see if we're a good fit, and then maybe feelings will develop. That's how I've looked at it for 7 or 8 years. And then I met this girl, and I just couldn't hold it back at all. It just washed over me, and after a week I was done. Which worked out well. We're engaged, so
no, but actually it sounds beautiful. Sounds beautiful.
Yeah, but it's such a weird thing that you can fall in love that madly with someone that you're not a good fit with. What's that about?
I don't know. It's also the timing. I mean,
I guess.
You were 19, you say?
No, I was probably 21.
21?
I guess at 21 you're an idiot.
You're an idiot, 21. Definitely, you are. I mean, we are idiots at 21.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I was definitely an idiot. All right, so your German summer fling didn't work out then. Okay, did you go straight from Germany to Spain, or?
The visa stuff was a little bit complicated, and they rejected Yeah, it was a bit complicated, but the only way to get a visa from Colombia at that point, I don't know if it still is the case, you have to request it in your home country, always. Mm-hmm. So I had to go back to Colombia, request it, and then it took a year. So it took a while to go to Spain. But I was working in Colombia. I found a former employee, and I was working in Colombia, and then I get the visa. I got the visa, but it was an easy decision for me to go to Spain, mm-hmm. but not that obvious decision for many of my friends or even family, because that year I was working for a company. I was earning good money, very, very good money. And going to Spain would be like going again to a student salary, kind of, because it's not the visa for free.
Yeah.
I give you the visa. That kind of company give you the visa, but I pay you shit.
Yeah.
But you get a visa.
Yeah.
And then you have to stay with me at least for a year. Deal or not deal? What I wanted, the visa.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. So some people understand it, some other didn't understand it that much. My parents, they always supported because they really said, okay, just do whatever we couldn't do when we were young or whatever. And if you want to travel and experience, go ahead. You don't have, debts, kids, girlfriend, go for it. And that's the way I came to Spain. But I was hesitant because, I don't know if you, but at that point in time in Latin America, there was some kind of rumor saying, okay, people in Spain is a little bit racist against people from Latin America. They treat us different. That was the voices, around it. And I was like, I don't want to go to Spain and experience that. None of that happened. It was fantastic. Again, something that I wasn't sure to do. And then great.
Nice.
It was fantastic. I love Spain. I mean, I fell in love in Spain. The first 6 months I was living in Spain. And I found this fantastic. Like really, 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 amazing. Even to think that I consider my home country as an adult, probably more than Colombia.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Very formative years. Where in Spain?
Madrid. Yeah.
I've never been there.
It's underrated because it doesn't have a beach, so it's
That's
super underrated.
That's the thing. Like if you're gonna fly over there from Sweden, you want to go somewhere where there's a beach.
Yeah,
but I've heard great things.
It's an amazing city. Yeah, it's an amazing city. It's very touristic as well, but not as much as Valencia, Barcelona, of course, or Malaga or whatever. But it's the mindset of the city is very open and very very progressive, and I like that.
Cool.
That's cool.
How long were you in Spain?
Almost 8 to 10 years.
Damn, that's a long time.
It was a long time.
And after that 1 year visa with that company, like, did you go elsewhere, or how does it work? You have to stay with that company, or
you have to after a year? Okay, you can leave the company. I mean, you can quit and go for another company, or you can renegotiate the contract and continue. And I continue with the company because I was happy anyway. Yeah. It is like 1 year visa, and then it's 2 years.
Right.
Perfect.
So you apply.
You apply exactly. You apply. You demonstrate that you're working for a company.
Right.
And all the papers, and they give you the permit for 2 years. Then after those 2 years, again, and then 5, and then
right. So you stayed with that same company for
like 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
I would say 3 years. I think I stayed with the same company.
What did you like most about Spain?
Let me think about it. Now, again, looking back, I would say that it's the perfect mix between the best of Latin America and the best of Europe. Is the middle point.
And what's the best of Latin America and what's the best of Europe?
The language, of course, because then it's Spanish, and that's a great thing. I mean, language is, having the same language, that makes a huge difference in many things. In at least feeling more at home, kind of. So the language was part, and also the way the Latin way of being, Italy, Portugal, Spain, and also kind of the way of social life and the people is similar than in Latin America. We're very alike in that. But at the same time, we have all the European Union benefits. So great infrastructure,
higher standard education, living and stuff like that.
Exactly. So that's perfect.
That makes a lot of sense. I would imagine, like, you're not the first from Latin America to figure this out. But I've never heard of, like, there being an issue that a lot of Latin American people are moving to Spain. But there's got to be, right?
Yeah, definitely.
There doesn't have to be an issue, but there's got to be a ton of people wanting to make that move.
No, and when you heard the story in a few words, you would say, of course, that happens everywhere. It's like, when Spain went to the European Union in the 85, I think, or something like that. Okay. So there was a lot of injection economically to Spain. So there was like in the economy, it really grew up. So people didn't want to do the stuff like, you know, cleaning.
Right.
And so they brought people from Latin America.
Right.
So that was the first wave of Latin American people working on cleaning and stuff like that. So we got categorized in that sense.
Yeah.
You know, so when I came to Spain, there were people thinking that I was in Spain because I need to send money back to Colombia.
Right.
That was like the mentality. Like, okay, if this guy is out of his home country, going to Spain is because he needs to, not because it's his decision, right? That freely will say, no, it's just because I want. It's not because I need it. It's because I want.
Yeah.
So breaking that paradigm took another generation. And it was the generation of professionals that they went just as, you know, as professionals or not only doing, this kind of stuff. So based on that, of course, there was a lot of a struggle because then again, in 2008, when the big economic crisis crashed and a lot of people in Spain got no jobs, then they wanted to work in cleaning and in agriculture. Of course, now you want to because you need to, right?
Right.
But there were a lot of Latin American people working on that. So it was like, we should push back the Latin American people because we need the jobs or whatever. Okay, now you need the jobs, of course.
Yeah.
Something like that.
What a turn of events.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, and that's part of migration is super complex.
Yeah.
Super extremely complex.
Very, yeah.
Very complex. It's not my area of knowledge, just by experience.
Yeah.
But it's very complex. And nowadays is so common. Like, it's part of, I don't know, for me, it's right now, or I don't know how it's going to be for the previous generations, but I would guess that it's just, what is that? We are not, should be talking about migration or things. We are citizens of the world, right? So you should be able to.
Should be.
You should be.
Should be, but like you said, it's complex.
Yeah.
I wish it was that easy.
Yeah.
Okay, were you in Spain when the 2008 crash happened, or?
Yes, I was.
And did that affect you? Like, did you lose your job, or?
No. That's precisely one of the good things about my the thing I work with is that it's very specific. So,
right.
And it usually is software used by multinational companies.
Right.
So when you have a multinational company and they lost 2-3% of their revenues because of the crisis, that's nothing. 5%, that's nothing.
Yeah.
So no, I never had problems with that.
Damn, you chose a good career path.
In those terms,
stable.
yes, super stable. Yeah.
Are you going to be replaced by AI soon?
No, I don't think so. No, not at all. No, I don't think so.
Sound very confident.
We are starting to use AI on our own behalf, so, which is fantastic. It's really great. So that's another topic, super interesting.
Oh yeah,
definitely. Yeah. Now it's one of the best topics. But even at Klarna, they are pushing super hard at it.
Yeah.
You can imagine the potential for Klarna.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. So they are pushing super hard on it.
I think I'm starting to get replaced as a copywriter. I just played around with ChatGPT yesterday, and there's like these... I don't even want to talk about this shit because I want people to hire me. But there are like these extensions to Chrome where you just install the extension and then it uses AI prompts.
Yes.
Much more efficiently than you would if you were just trying to make prompts up. And holy shit, it works so well.
Yeah.
Like you just need to write a few words and it gives you a book. It's insane. It works so well. So when I did that, I just played around with it a couple of days ago. I'm like, damn, no wonder I haven't been getting as much work this year. ChatGPT is here for real. But it's not creative. That's the thing. It's going to work for, there's a lot of these websites that have texts that are just to bump them up in the Google search rankings. The kind of text that no one ever reads is just, you just want to pump it with keywords and links and shit like that to work on the SEO. For that kind of content, ChatGPT is perfect.
Yeah.
Like for that kind of content, it doesn't have to be smart or creative. You just regurgitate, what other people, because what ChatGPT does is it has scanned, and all these language models, it has scanned, an immense amount of material and then puts it together in new ways. But it's still material that some human wrote.
Yeah.
So ChatGPT can never be original in a sense, because it just takes what has already been written and, of course, does its own twist on stuff, but it's still the work of human beings.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah.
At some point, I guess, a lot of the text that it's going to be reading is going to be AI generated, and then I don't know what the hell's going on, but at this point, it's just regurgitating other people or people's creativity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree. People is very scared about that, but I'm not that scared. I think it's something you can use if you know how to use it. It can help you a lot in your work or whatever. So it will do the things that maybe take you time to do, and just operative and a little bit of So, but the creative part, no, it's the same with coding. It can help you to build code.
Yeah,
definitely, or corrected the code as well, but not to code like new things. Everything is already written anyway. Yeah, anyway, I mean, there's nothing. The first thing that we do in our business is check if that already exists and reuse it.
Yeah.
Why I should buy the wheel twice, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's interesting. Can it code something that hasn't been coded before? Probably not. I guess I don't know. I don't know enough about coding to be able to talk about this, but
not coding, but
it should be the same as language.
Giving feedback and retroalimentation, and it just goes. And that's why it's intelligence.
Yeah,
because it can correct itself and then bring something more precise and everything. But
how do you use it in your work, AI?
I'm not using it right now.
Oh no!
I mean, the company is pushing a lot, and my team is pushing a lot also. But I'm not really in that part.
Okay.
Because I chose to not to.
Yeah, you're the one the company is going to replace with AI. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe, and I don't care. It's just that I've been honest with this. I've been talking with my boss, and I said I'm gonna do my best, but my focus is my family right now. So I don't want to overachieve. This is a little bit apart from our job. It's something that we're pushing, but we have to extra.
Got it.
I said right now, I find it super interesting.
Yeah,
but my family is first right now, and I don't want to spend time that I could spend with family.
Makes sense.
And still, I have to work sometimes extra hours or whatever. Still, so
yeah,
that's basically it.
Yeah, I'm kind of I will be like learning a little bit more about using AI and writing and stuff like that, but I kind of have a little bit of a resistance to it, because I do believe that this, face-to-face conversations, there's something to it. Like you can never replace, like I just told you, I did a job yesterday where I interviewed a person and then I'm going to write an article based on that interview. Like you can't do that with AI. Like you're not going to sit with a robot being interviewed by a robot, and maybe in the future, but we're very far from that. So you're going to need that human face-to-face interaction. And I kind of believe that there's going to be a bigger market for that. Even there's going to be a premium on people who are good at that, like the human touch of writing or coding or whatever, because so much is going to happen with the AI stuff, but the magic that can't be done with a robot is still going to be necessary, and there's probably going to be a premium for people who are good at that part, I think.
Yeah, it sounds to me a little bit like, there's this saying that life at the end is just going in circles. Mm-hmm. So the more we advance in technology, then we realize, how important is human relationships and society. And then we come to human society, and then you advance again in technology and more things. But at the end, it's just a circle. Mm-hmm. And I think this could be the same. Once we get the boom of this, we will go back to our roots.
Yeah.
Again. And or at least we will find it more valuable, right? Yeah. More important. And
yeah, exactly.
And that is at the end what make us these humans, right? Right? I mean, technology is there and it's great, but that will never replace human interaction. And
like in the pandemic, when everything was through Zoom and Teams and shit, it worked great for a little while, especially in countries like Sweden, where everyone has computers and fast internet and all that stuff. For a little while, it was like, yeah, this is fine. We can work from home. Then after a while, you know, people are just yearning to get out
back to the office.
Yeah, meet people, just talk shit over a cup of coffee or whatever. You know, you just need that human touch. Yeah. And
not only the human touch, also the journey, like going out of your place, you know, having to prepare your clothes, everything around that, having lunch outside, and all around it. Mm-hmm. And that is my case, actually. I actually prefer now to go to the office because I like to, go out, see people, but also sitting in a working atmosphere, which is not my son's room with a desk and a screen. Oh, that works also. That's efficient. I get it. Yeah. But, and I love it at the beginning, like, great, we're working from home. That's amazing.
Yeah. You need a mix.
You need a mix. Yeah. Exactly.
So you were in Spain for, you said, 7-8 years?
Yeah.
What happened after that?
Yeah, well, I was working for this company and they decided to open offices in Colombia. So I talked to them and I said, well, I can help you with that.
Mm-hmm. Back to the roots.
I tell them, why not? Let's try it. I mean, you don't need, it would be worse if let's get some kind of agreement here. I mean, you don't have to pay me housing or extra as an expat because I'm from there, right? So you will save money. I will go back home for a while. Win-win. Yeah. 2 years.
Nice.
Okay, do it. Went back to Colombia for a couple of years, but working for this Spanish company.
Uh-huh. And, were you getting a Spanish salary?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, that was nice. That was definitely nice. It was definitely nice. And then in that year is when I met my current girlfriend. Mm. She was living already in Colombia at that point. So I met her in Colombia through common friends and yeah, that's what happened for a couple of years. We were in Colombia, but then my company said, "Oh, you come back. You did your job already. Okay, we are settled in Colombia. We're gonna build there. You wanna stay there?" Then we changed the contract, so it's Colombian contract. Or you come back to Spain. I say, I wanna come back to Spain.
Yeah, makes sense.
And I told my girlfriend, okay, I don't want to stay here. Mm-hmm. Would you go to Spain? And try it out.
Yeah.
And then we came back. I came back to Spain, but with her.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. And this time it worked out. It wasn't a summer fling.
No. It worked out. No, it was not.
That's good.
No, this time it was not. It was not.
And how long were you in Spain together?
Like a year and a half, I think. But then some other complications came because I was happy in Spain. Like I said, that would be it's my country. If I would have to choose by myself, I will live in Spain.
Yeah.
In general. But for her, it was very difficult to find a job in what she wants to do. So she came with the idea of, hey, if I found a job in Sweden, would you try it out in Sweden? Mm-hmm. And naively, I said yes, thinking this will take some months, maybe a year.
Yeah.
Like a few weeks later, I got a job in Sweden. Let's go. What? What's going on?
So it was a quick turnaround then.
It was a quick turnaround, kind of. Yeah, it was a quick turnaround. Kind of.
And you moved to Sweden together.
Exactly.
And how long you been in Sweden now?
This summer is going to be 6 years, man.
6 years already, huh? Yeah. How do you like it here?
I like it. I definitely can point out things that I'm struggling right now, but it's not because of Sweden. It's more because of me and the situation, having family and children.
Yeah.
So more than with the country itself, or maybe having the feeling also I'm getting older. So I'm seeing also my parents getting older as well. So it's like, I'm starting to feeling homesick kind of, but from the family perspective. Yeah. So I'm struggling with that. So that's not related. It's just that it's happening at the same time.
Yeah. Understandable.
Right? But I think Sweden is a great country to raise family. Definitely. Obviously, because of the benefits, right? Like the parental leave, super long parental leave and blah, blah, blah. But it's not only that. I think society here tries to let you be in general, like, whatever you have to follow some structure, right? And everybody follows some structure and you have to follow some standards, whatever. But I think you can really choose freely what to do. I have that belief. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe it's not for everybody. Maybe I also live in a bubble, right? Because since I'm living here, I'm kind of.
I definitely think it's true. I mean, compared to other places, like family is less involved in, what you, no priests are whispering you should be a priest. It's your destiny to be a priest. There's some of that, but much less in Sweden. There's a big, like, the individual is kind of raised over the family unit, which has its downsides as well. Like,
exactly.
In some ways, I mean, it's very, like, sometimes you hear people say of their own children, like, when they're 18, they're out of the house, they're adults. And that's pretty messed up. Like, when it goes that far, where they don't look at their own children as, I mean, sure, they look at their children as children, but at 18, like, you know.
Yeah, but I have a theory for that. But probably I'm wrong. It's just that I'm starting to feel it, right? Because now I have 2 years of experience with the children, and it's like, in Colombia, even in Spain, raising your kids is, you have a lot of support from the rest of the family. Yeah. It's a very family thing from all the family.
Yeah.
Like, if you have to work, then just send your kids to your grandfathers, even for months or years if it is necessary. Whatever. It's a huge support. Yeah. Here is your parents, like, it's your immediate family. You know, like, in Colombia, you hire a nanny. I mean, that's the most demanded job right now in Colombia, a good nanny.
Yeah.
Because it's very super necessary, especially if you want to succeed work-wise. So you need someone to help with the kids. And if you don't have family close, then the nanny is completely important, or 2 nannies or whatever. Yeah. But here, I think the state gives you the tools so you can balance work and family life from one side. And from other sides, it's like, it's your business. You are the parents. It's your responsibility. Yeah. That's it. So I think that the first 18 years is like, man, I raised you during 18 years.
Yeah.
Even, you know, like, super father, mother, children oriented. That's it. It's enough.
Yeah.
It's enough. Make your life. It's enough.
That's a good point. I've never thought of that. Like, yeah, a lot of responsibility is put on the parents.
Yeah.
Whereas in other cultures, you have more extended family helping out.
Correct.
So after 18 years, you're like, oh, I'm done with this shit. Get out of here.
or strangers like nannies. But here it's not common that you hear someone, I hire a nanny.
Very, very rare here.
Very rare.
Yeah. So it's almost frowned upon in Sweden.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that. Really?
I mean, it's kind of, I don't know. I don't have enough experience of it, but from what I've heard, it's not always positively viewed to get a nanny.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can believe that the same way, like, it's not very good. See, when you say, like, the cleaning lady came once, something like that. Yeah,
there's, I don't know. I guess because of the focus on the individual, like, you gotta, I don't know. It's so hard to say, because it's also like we have a nanny state, like the state takes care of us so well that maybe that's why, like, you need to. The state and you as an individual, that should be enough because we have such a strong state or such a strong welfare system and stuff like that. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm way out of my league in this one.
yeah.
But it's definitely more rare with nannies here than in other parts of the world.
Yeah, definitely. So,
when you went back to Colombia for these last 2 years, before moving to Spain for the last time, was something different? Like, did you experience Colombia in the same way, or having lived so long in Europe, did you appreciate something more, or were you annoyed with something in Colombia more than previously?
That's a very good question. No big differences, but at the same time confirmed why I don't want to live there. Because it's still same old classes clash kind of culture, which I'm against too. Like
classes as in the rich and the poor clashing?
Yeah, or? Exactly. Like you are, depending where you live, you're classified. So you from 1 to 6. So then, if you have to pay more taxes or not. So it's that kind, that we call it classes.
I've heard of that. Tell me more about that. Like literally a zone of the city is zone, like tax class 1, and you're taxed more than other zones or what?
Yes. Literally.
And how does that work? Like, I can't just decide to move to an area where I get taxed less?
Yeah, of course. But
you can.
Then it means that area probably has less infrastructure, maybe has more security problems, maybe has less schools closed.
Okay.
So it's all related to that as well.
So the areas where you get taxed more are probably safer, cleaner, and all that stuff?
Yeah. Nicer,
less crime,
best like buildings as well.
Right, but unless you have like a really good job, you can't afford to pay that much in taxes. Is that the point?
That much in taxes, and also the price of the building and services.
Right, everything costs
more. So once you build a city like that way, you are just creating bubbles.
Yeah,
you're just creating bubbles. So you only will your circle of friends or whatever is going to be the same.
Yeah.
The same class or, 1, 2. And you will build all your values or whatever in the same class, the same build. So that makes the people it's really apart from each other in those terms. So an example is, the people that cleans houses, then they usually are from this stratus, we call it lower, and they clean for people that lives in upper stratus. But there is they treat each other very nicely, but there is some kind of tension there. Like, okay, I know I don't belong here. You are being nice to me because, of course, I'm your employee or whatever.
Yeah.
But no, we don't really.
Yeah. They wouldn't be seen at a dinner together.
No. And then, which means that high school where my kids will go will also be all from, the same people from the same street. So they will, and I don't like that kind of living. I think it's because it can absorb you very easily and make you think that it's correct. And then you feel good because at Christmas you give, toys to poor kids, or you have a foundation or wherever. So you're thinking, but at the end, you are not really like, I really like in Spain or here, like I can talk with someone or live with someone and maybe it's a doctor or maybe works in cleaning. Nobody cares. It doesn't matter. At the end, it doesn't matter. Yeah. What you do, it doesn't matter. Where you study, it doesn't matter. Your last name, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
In Colombia, it matters. When you met someone, it's what is your last name? Where did you study? What do you do? So I can put you in one of these boxes. Like, how can I categorize? I hate that.
Yeah. Oh, no, that sucks.
And when I went back to Colombia, that confirmed that completely. Yeah. And I was opening a business. So it means to try to sell, our company services to many companies, including university, whatever. And since I was offering a service, this is just one example. I had to do it. We want to offer our services to one university, which takes around 3 hours from where my parents live, by car. and he put me a meeting at 7 a.m. So I had to wake up, 4, 5 to get there. And then the guy just attended me like 11 or 12. He made me wait.
Oh, man.
For hours. What a lack of respect. And it's because he was the very important person at that university. So he thinks that everybody can wait. But him. And I found it totally a lack of respect. It's like,
oh man, I would be so pissed off in those situations.
And that's very common.
Yeah.
And that's super common to happen. That's very common to happen.
Would you say from when you were a young adult, I guess, to this time around, that separation increased, or was it the same as always, or less?
I think it's the same as always.
Okay.
It's just that it's a little bit covered. System. Yeah. But it's a little bit covered, but I think it's the same. And that sounds weird, but it's not nobody's fault. It's just the system.
No, it just grows out
of the system, like circulating.
Yeah.
Because then you find a lot of people that maybe were in a struggling situation, and for whatever reason, hard work, whatever, went up these society classes. And then they change because they feel that's the way to be. Like, then I have to change. I cannot be.
Yeah. When it's that like in your face, then that's the way to act. Like, if you move up, then you move up to acting like the people on the higher level act. Like, you can't move up and still act poor. Because then you're not gonna, it's just not gonna work.
You're not gonna fit.
Man, that's such a weird system. Is there any kind of movement, like people trying to get rid of this?
It's complicated because it's all related, right? And right now we have in a very difficult political situation, but very interesting one. For the first time in forever, I would say, for the first time ever, 2 years ago was the first president of the nation from the left wing. For the first time from the left wing. So it's something completely new. Yeah. We're experiencing new things. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But then slowly, it's like there are starting to appear corruption cases from this new party from the left wing that everybody had the hope, and everything like it's making people think it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same thing. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So I mean, when there's corruption, it's so hard to get rid of.
It's very hard to get rid of.
I don't even know how some places managed. Like, that's one of the things I always like to, or I would like to understand is, like, why is Sweden? Like, why do things work so well here? Why is there relatively low corruption? And I don't know, some other country in Europe where all of these countries started out as like kingdoms, dictatorships under a king. But some of these countries just moved towards democracy peacefully, step by step, and ended up in, something that's a very great functioning society like Sweden.
Yeah. Why
did it happen here but didn't happen elsewhere? It's a very interesting.
It's very interesting. It's very interesting. And I remember a professor of mine at the university, and his theory was like, okay, there are 3 things that a developed country has that an undeveloped country doesn't.
Okay.
Or the other way around, whatever. One is, if you think about it, the developed countries, they have seasons. Almost all of them have seasons. I mean, they have to struggle with it, winter, summer, or whatever, which nowadays it doesn't matter. But beforehand, we didn't have, like the refrigerators or whatever. Then you have to really work in summer and spring to save food for the winter. So it makes you have some kind of planning.
It selects for productive people who can plan. Yeah,
that's one thing. The second thing was usually has been involved in some way or the other with a war or something like that. They struggle with that, or being benefit by that or not, but whatever by that. Thanks to the world wars, Sweden got a lot of money, just being neutral and selling.
Totally neutral.
Right?
Totally
so they will
neutral.
benefit for that. But, I really admire Germany, how they came back from 2 being destroyed by 2 world wars, and then it's still being the biggest, economical potential in the world or whatever. So they had to rebuild themselves for something. While we in Latin America, we have good weather the whole year long. We can just, I just need to eat. Dude, if I have an eat and a roof, that's enough for me. I don't need anything else.
I mean, just my own productivity when there's good weather in Sweden, it just goes way down. When the weather is nice, I'm like, I can't sit here stare at this fucking screen. I'm gonna just go out and chill in the sun. I'll work later. So yeah, if I had that all day, every day, it would be a problem for sure.
Yeah. And the third one, I forgot the third one. I would remember in a while, probably. But the point is that it has a very, very strong cultural point, and we in Colombia, we are not that productive as we can be. We are not, and I struggle with that as well. I'm really bad at planning ahead. I'm learning that right now with my family, because we need to, we have to.
Yeah.
But I was not a planning guy or whatever. I was just from the moment. I'm like, what happened if I do it right today? Why should I worry for what I should worry tomorrow? But yeah, then Sweden's a great country, definitely. But still, I miss things like, I have a word for what I miss, and it's like spontaneous social interaction.
Right, yeah, we're not very good at that here.
No. And I miss that.
Yeah, that's one of the things like expats struggle with. People coming here from abroad to work. It's so hard to like make friends and just be spontaneous. Yeah.
I mean, you get used to, of course, but then it's so structured things that sometimes it's not boring, but boring.
For sure. Like when you're trying to make plans with someone, and you take out your calendars, like maybe this weekend, maybe that weekend, and then it ends up being in 2 months, because that's the first everyone's just busy and has everything just planned out. It's kind of weird. I miss, when you're a kid, it's not like that. Like we would just, call our friends and be like, hey, want to go play basketball? Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of like that just disappears when you're an adult here. Yeah. But maybe there's more spontaneity in adults in Colombia, I guess.
Yeah. But then we go to the other extreme, right? Where we don't plan anything. So it's a mess as well.
Yeah.
It's a mess. I mean, it would be great to have something in between, but the point is that when you see all these surveys, Colombia is like in the top list of productivity, but it's not productivity; it's being at the office. That's different.
Oh, people are there; they're just chilling.
Yeah. And 5 p.m. is like, oh shit! Now I have to work, and then I stay till 8. Come on, man. You could do it and go home earlier, man. But then you have to work, from.
Was that challenging after having worked for 7-8 years in Spain? Working in Colombia, was that like one of the things you thought of, the productivity?
Yes, but at that point, I was not really having working hours because I was just selling services, so I didn't have a schedule. I mean, I was working as a consultant for some companies, but that was in remote, so I could handle it. But it was different. Like I didn't have a schedule, so it was totally different.
Got it.
But just treating people, I was so annoying.
Yeah.
Like if I sell something, then it means that you owe me.
Yeah.
Because I am the one who's selling, right? So you owe me. No shit. No. It shouldn't be that way. And I felt that way in Colombia. And I hate it. Of course I hate it.
Yeah, of course. It's crazy. It makes me think of like my grandma in Montenegro. It's kind of similar, I guess, to Colombia, but who is very important. And like if you want to get ahead, you have to have, a network. You have to know people. Like even the craziest shit. Like if you want to get grades at your university, you have to either bribe a professor or know a professor to get grades, which is insane. Like you're supposed to get grades if you're good at the subject. And this one year we were down there for the summer, and we talked about getting internet to her apartment. And she just says, yeah, I know someone at the whatever, the Telenor or whatever, the company that sells internet. I know someone who works there, so I can probably get internet. I was like, what? Like, it took me a while to understand what even she was saying. That's how entrenched this worldview is, that you have to know someone who works at the company to be able to get their service. And it's like, no, I'm giving you money for a service. Like, that should not be a factor at all. I should just walk into a store and buy the service or product or whatever. But that's her mentality. She was like, I think I know someone who works at that company, so I can probably get internet. I'm like, man, I could never, like, now that I've lived most of my life in Sweden, if I went back to former Yugoslavia, I'd be like, fuck, fighting with people every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the way it is. Colombia is the same. And when you start pulling the strings from like contracts with the public sector, and then you realize, okay, but this is the brother-in-law from this and this. All the contracts are with the same within the same family.
Damn.
Oh my God.
A lot of nepotism.
Yeah. No, definitely.
All right, enough shitting on Colombia. What's the best part about Colombia? What do you like most about Colombia?
I would say the same that I hate in terms of because the spontaneity from the social perspective is great. Yeah. It's great. People, it's super welcoming, and in general, you feel always like, okay, like this closeness, and that's lovely from Colombian people. I love that. And apart from my family, I mean, also in terms of nature, I think there's no more beautiful country in terms of nature.
Right.
Not at all.
Big rainforests.
Everything. Deserts, rainforests, even snow, beaches, everything. I mean, it's just that it's a big country.
Yeah.
It's a very big country, and it's not that easy to move like around. But in terms of nature, it's beautiful. And the more I'm away from it, the more I realize that it is actually, we are wasting a lot of resources in terms of nature, and that's sad. And that's beautiful. And it sounds redundant, but it's where I grew up, and that makes a huge bonding.
Yeah, of course. Connection.
It's a natural connection there. Blood connection.
Yeah.
And, but at the end, it's family. I miss my parents, and that's a super huge bond. Or my grandparents, they are almost 90, so I see. It's hard to think that at some point it's like, okay, I have to go to Colombia because I don't want to even mention it, but
time has its way.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, we mentioned briefly Pablo Escobar earlier. He's such a... I'm always fascinated with characters like him. Like, he did so much horrible shit, and everyone knows. And still, he gets glorified in such a manner. Like, TV shows made about him, books written about him. I mean, obviously, he had a huge impact. But I'm curious, like, for you growing up, like, how did people talk about him? Like, did people consider him a bad guy or good guy? What were people saying?
Well, the point is that he's from Medellin, from another city in Colombia, and he really supports some like poor neighborhoods. He was like the godfather of those neighborhoods, like building football fields and building schools and giving money. So of course they love him. They love him. Of course they love him.
Yeah, it's complicated.
There was the same people that protect him. So he was in those neighborhoods, and the police knew that he was here, but the police couldn't even enter to those neighborhoods because they were protected by all the people.
Yeah.
So now I think it's more fashion thing coming from all the TV shows and something like that. That in reality he was a criminal.
Yeah,
and he was seen in the rest of Colombia as a criminal.
So he wasn't that loved outside of Medellin.
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
So when you were growing up in Bogotá, people did not talk about him as some kind of hero.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
Yeah.
He was a hero for the people in those neighborhoods that he was giving money just because, or supporting families. And he was supporting families, but he has an intention on that, of course, because he knew that they will give them security.
But also, like, now, like, people from the West go there and go to, like, tours of like Pablo Escobar's house or a prison or whatever. It's just it's so absurd. I understand why, because, you know, Narcos was a great show, so popular, and people want to experience that and whatever. But it's just so inconceivable when you know, like, the kind of stuff he did and what that meant for the country and the society. And now you have all these tourists coming to, like, go on a tour with his bodyguard or whatever. It's so bizarre.
It's bizarre, but that's part of this marked tourism.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I guess
it's part of this more tourism. The weirdest, the more exciting and more exclusive that it might feel or be.
Yeah.
So I don't find it that weird, but definitely it's strange. But it's why you go to I don't know, to where's this place where the nuclear plant in Ukraine.
Oh, yeah.
Chernobyl, right?
Chernobyl, yes.
It's super touristic.
True.
Why you want to go to a place where it's actually...
But that was an accident.
Yeah, no. But the concept is the same. It's destroyed. But it has some kind of... we have
some kind of attraction.
Some kind of attraction.
To the dark side of us. Yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So, and then the hype. The hype of Pablo Escobar, like it's the same hype like has the Che Guevara, you know, the Che Guevara he has a huge hype as well.
Oh yeah.
But incredible, even more.
Yeah.
There were even people that decided what to study in politics or social studies or whatever just because of this guy.
Yeah.
So the impact was huge, and he was criminal as well at the end.
History is so weird. Like we really like pick and choose what we remember and what we forget.
Yeah.
But it's usually like, I don't know, man. We're such a weird animal. We're so like fascinated with the bad, the evil, like all of these movies and games and everything.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point. Yeah, all these shows about serial killers.
Yeah,
you know, or murder, criminal stuff. We are all made for that.
What do you think that is? Why do we thirst like for the dark side of the worst of humanity in our media, in our entertainment?
I don't know. Maybe because most of the people would like to see things that they think they are not capable of. I don't know, like, oh, someone do it. I mean, I won't do it, but how? Why? I mean,
but I want to know how.
How? Why?
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, but I think we all have some kind of kinky something. I don't know, gore in ourselves. I don't know. You know, this time in your life, I don't remember, it was my 20s or whatever, that this gore, went like gore movies or whatever. So looking a little bit of, you know, like accidents and things that. They got some kind of, it was disgusting, but you were like, looking with one eye and the same. There is an accident and all people just reduce the speed to look down. Maybe there is some blood or something. It's strange. And I have no idea why. But
I don't know. I think it's partly because we're wired to discover danger, because evolutionarily, if you notice danger, you're more likely to survive. So our ancestors who noticed danger survived. Those who didn't, they died. So we're wired to find and focus on what's dangerous. Maybe that has something to do with it.
Maybe that has something to do. Maybe that gives us an easy dopamine ride, like a little bit of a little bit of adrenaline, like saying, okay, I'm not part of it or whatever, but I can sneak and see a dead body. I don't know, or how someone can be a cannibal, right? Yeah. That sounds interesting per se.
Yeah.
Eating humans.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, right? So I want to this new series, The Cannibal, is based on true stories. I want to watch it because
we're so fucking weird, man. We're such a weird animal.
That make us also very interesting.
Very true. Very true. Yeah, I mean, I'm the same. Like, the books I read is only like the worst of humanity, like, you know, genocides and wars and famines and shit. It's so like dark, but I don't know. I'm just fascinated. Like you said, part of it is like how you want to understand, like how to World War II. Like, how did something like the Holocaust make sense to so many people? Like, why could like an entire nation, pretty much, like obviously not every single German, but almost an entire nation, you know, pull in this direction where something like the Holocaust can happen and be reasonable to them. Like people, the Nazis didn't do this because they just want to destroy the world. Like they believed they were doing a good thing. That's the fascinating aspect. Like, if we just follow a narrative down a dark path, like we can be so convinced that we're doing the right thing while committing genocide. It's like, what the fuck? Like, how does that happen? So yeah, I guess just trying to understand how that happens is fascinating.
It's fascinating. Yeah. And try to find some kind of empathy.
Yeah.
Which doesn't sound good because, but
no, but you have to have empathy for the darkness because everyone is capable of it.
Yeah.
Like the people in Nazi Germany, they were not like a different animal. They were the same animal as we are. So clearly we have that capacity. I mean, it's happening in North Korea. It's happening in other parts of the world. I mean, it's not like we're past genocide. So clearly we have the capacity to do it. So yeah, you gotta want to understand it, empathize with that mentality to not fall into it.
Yeah.
I think so.
No. That makes sense. And I kind of agree. That's why I think, for example, you are one of the persons that I think is more open-minded in those terms. Like, you're capable of listening. Maybe you will agree or not, but it's like, okay, explain it to me, right? That kind of mentality. And I like that. And I'm kind of that way. I mean, I don't like to judge in general, because I think that's a little bit hypocritical, you know. I mean, everybody has its, virtues and effects or whatever. It doesn't matter, but we are human beings. So I try not to judge. Yeah. And that's part of it. Like, so for example, I could have a conversation with, I don't know, someone that killed someone. I could have a conversation with that person. No problem at all. Yeah. No problem at all, as long as it doesn't kill me, right? But yeah. but what I try to say is that, and that is that curiosity of, okay, why and how? It's like, I want to understand you. Yeah. And now entertainment is very good at it, putting empathy on those kind of characters. That's true. They make you even feel like, oh, he's not a bad guy, he's a good guy.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many shows like Breaking Bad where you're rooting for the villain.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
But even better with that series, that you go from empathy to hate him, to go to empathy again, and hate him at the end, like you're saying.
That is such a good show.
Yeah, it's very good.
That's my favorite show. Like the character development, like you say, it's a whole journey. Like your own emotions towards him and other characters is just the journey in that show. It's so cool.
It's one of the best.
Yeah.
Still, I don't know. Better Call Saul is also.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same level or not. I'm still.
You've seen the whole show?
Yes.
Yeah. I thought the ending sucked.
I was
spoiler alert to listeners. Yeah, I thought it sucked. The ending. He broke character.
He did, but it was totally intended. It's like for me was his epiphany. That's why I think it's a good ending, because it's his epiphany at the end.
Yeah.
You see him saying, "Fuck it, now I get it."
But he had his freedom, and then he's like, "No, I'm gonna do the right thing." Well, you haven't done the right thing your entire life. Like, come on, man, come on. I would have preferred if he stayed an asshole. Yeah,
that would make it more interesting. That's for sure.
Yeah,
and maybe more seasons, but I think it was a good ending. Finding
it was a good show. It was a good show for sure.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah,
talked about a lot of shit.
A lot of shit.
You've lived a very interesting life. You've lived in a bunch of different places. You've seen a bunch of different cultures, and you have cool perspectives. I appreciate that a lot.
No, man, thank you. I was a little bit nervous coming here and whatever, and I could speak for hours now. Like, I
know, right?
Having a beer and just talk for hours. It's been great.
No, it's always like that. When like we've talked to each other a bunch of times, but like when there's microphones in front of your face, for the first couple of minutes you're aware of them. Yeah. But after a while you're like just having a conversation. Yes. You don't even think about it. So it's cool. It's a cool feeling.
It's cool. Yeah. It's a cool feeling.
Power of a good conversation.
I agree. Definitely.
Yeah. But you have a family to get back to, so let's wrap things up. And thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate you taking time out.
Thank you, man. Thank you for taking me in consideration, and I hope to find more guests in English. I can follow more.
I'll work on it. All right. Thanks a lot, and thank you to the listeners. See you next time. Bye-bye.